Welcome back to Get to Know Every One of Us. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Caitlin Fanelli, and she's new here at Gold Standard. How long has it been since, was it December when you started?
Yeah, the end of December. It's
So,
just the new year.
yeah, we're very glad to have you. You've been such a treat, and we love having you in our company. So, I want to get to know you, and I want the audience to get to know you better. So, today we're going to start with where's home for you? Tell me about that. Where do you live?
So I live in Elizabeth Township now. I've been here for about 4 years, I'd say. And I grew up in Jefferson Hills.
Oh, so close. They were really close. Is that where you went to
Yeah.
high school?
Yes, I went to TJ.
Yeah, that was one of our biggest, like in high school, TJ and Bell Vernon. That was tough. I was in high school a long time ago, so it didn't even matter. So, what led you to real estate?
Well, I've always just liked viewing homes, and so I kind of had that in my background, but then I wanted to do something that was, customer service focused. I worked a lot in retail as a teenager, so I liked the part of helping people, but I did not like the retail atmosphere. So,
I
so
mean,
I
there's
kind of,
different.
did some research on what, career choices, when I was in high school going into college, what I could combine those two things. And that's when I ended up with real estate. I actually started in leasing. That was my
That
first.
makes sense because if you look at retail, I mean, there's a lot of similarities though, right? It's a lot
Mhm.
of sales, but just
Mhm.
environment, and you get to you get to go in all of these beautiful houses and some not so beautiful ones. And I'm sure you've had a couple of those as
Oh
everyone.
yeah.
But so, what do you love most about helping people buy or sell a home?
Honestly, I think it's just being able to help them with one of the biggest financial decisions that they're going to make. Buying a home is one of the biggest,
For sure.
things, one of the most expensive things that you're going to buy. So I feel like to have people trust me, with that, it just feels really special.
Yeah, it is really cool. It is so nice to see it through the process, and then when they're finally there, they're so happy. But then that one part of when you say to somebody, "If it's meant to be, it will be," like it
Mhm.
always happens that way. They would lose on a house, but the house they'll get is the best house for them. So it's tough that we go through a lot as agents. There's a lot of emotions and a lot of things we do that people don't even understand, like marriage counseling, and there's a whole bunch of hats a real estate agent has. So what is one smart tip you'd give a buyer or seller in today's market?
I'd say the biggest thing I can say to people right now is not to wait. Everybody wants to wait. They want to wait out the rates and think that there's going to be a better, interest rate in a couple months, but the right house will find you at the right time. You have to look, you have to get out there, you have to find it. You can always change that. You can always refinance. If rates do drop tremendously, you can fix that. But if you pass up the house that you really want, you might not find another one for a while. So I never push anybody to buy a house just to make a sale. So if they're not finding the right house, there's a reason. And if they do find the right house, they need to jump on it because it's meant to be.
Makes sense. So outside of real estate, what lights you up? And I think I know one of them, but go ahead, tell me.
Well, first and foremost, obviously baking. I love to bake, primarily sugar cookies, but I've been experimenting with a lot of sourdough, which is a completely different world. And I did not think that it was going to work out when I first started it. It sounds easy, just putting some flour and water in a jar and letting it sit there until it ferments, but it's a lot harder than it looks. So there was a lot of trial and error, but I very much enjoy it now. So baking is definitely a big part. I actually, for a while there, I don't know if everybody knows, but I did own a bakery for a short
No.
time. Yeah, it was actually within another business here in
Okay.
township. So it was in the local deli. So they let me kind of station there, and I, baked everything out of there. I worked probably most days 12 to 14 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, while doing real estate. So it was a lot.
That
There's a
is
lot of sleepless nights, but especially around Christmas time. I think I made somewhere over 4,000 Christmas cookies. So it was like absolutely insane. But I do love it. It's something that I can
So
kind of.
do you sell like the baked goods as well now?
I just do it for family and friends now, just because I don't have a place to do it. I have a client that shares the same passion, that they bought a house that actually has a separate space that we're trying to convince to get that into a bakery for us to team up and kind of do our own thing, but that's a work in progress. So, but yeah, it's something I really like to do, and a lot of like games. I like to play board games. I'm a big video game nerd. A lot of people don't know.
I didn't know that.
Fortnite is my addiction. So
wow, I had no idea. I love this, getting to know you better. That's so wild. So tell me about your personal life. You're married, have kids. Tell me about that.
So I'm married to my husband, Sam. We've been married since 2021. Actually, May 15th is our anniversary. So it's coming up. But we've been together since 2014. So it's been a long time. We don't have any kids yet. We just have our furry kids. We have a dog and 2 cats that are all rescues.
They are kids though, right? I mean, you feel the same. Like, I love my dogs so much.
Yep. They are just as expensive sometimes, but they're just as loving too. It's great. We love our animals.
So this morning I put on some lip gloss and I wiped it off because I wasn't finished giving kisses. So I was like thinking,
honestly, anytime I even wear chapstick, the dog is just like in my face sniffing it.
I know. So what's your favorite part about being here at Gold Standard?
I would say the support. It's unparalleled. I mean, I came from a small brokerage with great people. I have nothing bad to say about them. I loved them. You know, it was a great place to start my career, but it's just the Gold Standard family, like the way that everybody is with each other. It's so different. Everybody wants to help. You know, it's the trainings and everything that you do for us. I mean, it's really just unparalleled. There's so many tools and things. It's so overwhelming. Even 5 months in, I'm still learning.
That's why you just got to pick one thing and go with it, and then go to the next thing when you're ready. I love that you're here. You're such a positive person, and you're always engaging, and I love that about you. And we talk about that in the office when you're not even there. So, you know, when people talk about you behind your back, that's who you really are. Like, we are so impressed with you, and you're always showing up. Thank you for that. It's very important, you know, for you, for your career, and for us to have agents like you. So thank you for that. So you already kind of shared a few things about yourself, you know, the Fortnite thing, the baking, which, just so everyone knows, 5 months, almost 6 months she's been here, I haven't tasted one baked good, just so you know. So coming soon to me, I hope. I have some baked goods waiting in her freezer though, actually. So what is a small win that you're proud of lately?
Probably the fact that I'm at the point in my career now where I'm starting to get repeat clients, a lot of repeats and a lot of referrals. And that to me it's very heartwarming, just being able to know like that past clients of mine are recommending me to their family and friends, you know, without a second thought. And that's really good to feel, you know, just knowing they trust me and they trust me again to do it again. So yeah.
I literally built my business on past clients' sphere of influence, and it was it's so rewarding, because you're right. Like, you don't have to fight for it. They're fighting for you.
Yeah.
You know, you did such a great job with them. And that's something else that happened, you know, and you and I live in the same kind of area, that some people wouldn't want to take the small ones, like the $50,000 houses or 60,000. But when you do that, the next one could be 200 or 400, or their family and friends. So you never want to walk away from it. In fact, it recently just happened to me where the buyers bought $150,000 house, and then the next time when they sent me their family, they were buying up to 600. So it does work. So thank you for, you know, doing that and being the same who you are with $50,000 clients to $400,000 clients. So thank you for jumping on here with me. I like to keep it, you know, just short so that we can get to know each other, but just enough that I can already love you even more. So thank you, Caitlin. You've been such a joy here, and we appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.